Hmm? Ah! Oh.
I think the reason I came here was to thank you for everything you have given me for my existence. Every moment of it. Even this one.
Hey, panelists and podcastical listeners, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Jayme.
And this episode of the podcast of Sandman Cast, it's going to be a spoiler episode of the podcast. We're covering Sandman Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. So keep that in mind, everybody. This is also a collaborative podcast along with Podcastica Network. So panelers, welcome. Podcastica listeners, welcome. So podcast is going to be available for both streaming purposes. Jason was out last week, so you might be getting the episodes a little later than normal. So you could always listen to them on Panels to Pixels if need be. But you could always we'll talk about feedback later to either or. Anyhow, Sandman Season 2, Episode 7. What's the name in the... Well, actually, before we get into that, yeah, this is a spoilerful podcast. Yes, I keep forgetting to remind myself to say that every time, just in case you have one of those people going, hey, even though it says spoiler in the text on mine. But
And it'd be hard to have a not spoiler podcast of episodes
that are been out for a while. These,
Yeah.
Even though we have new episodes coming out that have just dropped, everybody, which is pretty cool.
These are the ones that dropped because they released 1 to 6. So now we're into the new drop.
Oh,
the new and final drop.
So we caught up, is what you're saying.
We caught up. Yes.
I did not realize that because I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. Okay. Thank you for
correcting just as we
me.
caught up to 6, they dropped the new ones.
Awesome. That is so funny. Which is funny too, because I will be dropping episodes 5 and 6 after we finish recording, probably within the next day or two. And by that time, Jason will probably put them out 2 or 3 days later. So keep that in mind.
They'll
listeners.
all get out there.
They'll all get out there. And I'll have this one edited by the end of the week or weekend. And my birthday will be filled with editing. But anyhow, Jayme, you want to enlighten us about the title of the episodes and the synopsises?
Episode 7 is called Time and Night. With the future of his realm at stake, Morpheus must appeal for help to an authority even greater than the Endless. And then Season 2, Episode 8 is Fuel for the Fire. Morpheus recruits a mortal agent for a dangerous mission in the waking world. A change of heart puts a pair of tricksters on a collision course.
Yes. And we know those tricksters, obviously. We've seen them before. But... all right, well, we'll start off with 7. They kind of mesh into each other because I saw this as one long episode when I saw them back to back. And I seem to feel that, like, the way it just kind of works. It didn't work with me and Steve with Ironheart for the last 2 episodes. And it was just, well, let's just say our review of that was bad towards the end for the last 2 episodes of that show.
Oh, no.
But with this one, we do leave episode 8 on a cliffhanger, which is amazing, especially when we're back to the new drop of episodes. And these are the first of the 2 drops. But I saw them back to back and I watched them twice. And I saw this like almost like as a full episode ongoing. You could start at 7 and keep going to 8, but then at 8 you're like, I want more.
Yeah, I feel like the 2 episodes before this one and these 2, if we did them separately, we'd be missing out.
Yeah,
I think having these together is really the best way to do it.
And it worked for these 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah, these 2 and the 5 and 6 also.
Yeah,
I feel like had to be reviewed together.
That's pretty cool.
We didn't know that going into this, but it worked out really well.
Yeah, it did. Worked out in the dreaming. Anyhow, Your thoughts on episode 7? How did you feel that was? Not in comparison to 8, because we're going to get into 8, but did you think that was a good start off from where we left off on episode 6?
Oh, yeah. We get to see the Endless Parents.
Yes.
I mean, that's just cool.
That was awesome. Rufus Sewell coming out as Time.
I know. That was very exciting.
Yes. And how different him and his mother are, but they both say the same thing pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's Dream literally going to his parents for help, and then Time actually stating that. And that's a good point to start on, his parents, of like what to discuss.
Yeah. Do we want to just jump in with the parents?
Yeah, we could do that as a
Or how he
discussion
got
point.
there? Yeah.
Yeah. Other things have happened, but
Yeah. It seems that nobody in this show likes being a parent.
Mhm. They hate being parents. Yes.
But yeah, there's a whole lot of kids are terrible quotes. Well, except Daniel's mom.
Mm,
But it's easy. Well, it's a different kind of feeling when you have a baby. I don't want to say it's easy, but the babies don't talk back at 8 months old.
no, they don't. They scream.
Yes.
I did like Time's where he lived and the way it looks like, because the way Dream explains it, it's the darkness. It's how it all started. And then he went back there, and all we do is we see something that looks like almost like an MC Escher painting.
Yeah.
With
It's very
puzzling.
and it's not entirely dissimilar to Dream's realm.
Correct.
Like it's weird, but it's also kind of sterile and clean.
Mhm.
You know, the stuff that the residents of Dreaming have power over are different, but like the castle itself seemed kind of similar.
Mhm.
And then, but before he goes there, he said, what does he say? I really love this. Time, the relentless beat in which things could happen. I was like, that's a really good quote.
Yeah, it's a good description of it. Time and how it is.
Yeah.
And it was Time that actually stated that, right?
It was Dream before he got to his dad, when he was saying
it was his description of it. Okay.
yeah. Well, before, he's like, at the beginning there were two things, and one was time is the relentless beat in which things could happen.
Yeah.
I was
And
like, oh,
the conversation between Dream and his father at that point, his father literally stating in his comments to his own son about how he had love, he found love, and this is how he treats his own children. But he basically treated saying Dream treated Orpheus almost like Time had done himself, being cruel, but also was there for him. And then doing what he had done to Orpheus by taking his life was a showing of love, because to end his life, even though he spilled blood, and that's where we're at. But and then him saying, what, do you love me, Dream? How could you love me? And blah blah blah. And it's like, well, I don't love you. Or like,
yeah,
spits right to his face,
And then Dream says a child cannot help but love his father.
And I love how Time basically at one point offering to send Dream back in time to Hades before everything, so he can ask Hades to spare his son's life.
And then following that up with, but it won't work.
It won't work, because it's going to be like a vicious cycle anyway, because it's almost as what Destiny says. It's all destined to happen anyway, and you can't rewrite it in any way. Things have consequences, and these are the outcomes. And then I just loved how, when after their conversation and and Time goes, well, I'm surprised you haven't seen your mother. and then he goes, if you see her, tell her I said hello.
I was like, oh, he misses her.
Yes, and it was like one of those things. It's like, okay, but then he starts the universe back up again with Time. If you look at it, he spins it, and it's as if he's got the whole universe in his grasp. He just stopped it for the moment to have a conversation with his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An undesired conversation mostly.
Yes.
But I mean, the one thing he intended in telling his son, like, look, I could send you back to the beginning and the outcome will still be the same.
Yeah.
I want this to be to help you. I want this to be a comfort to you that, no matter what, your child would have suffered. Your child would have been upset and suffered, which,
Yeah, regardless, he would have suffered anyway. And he
yeah,
was just saying it was inevitable what was going to happen with this child he had created out of what he calls love. And it's like I stated before with Destiny even knew. But they embraced him, Orpheus, for who he was. And I think all the siblings have, and they all kind of grieved in their own way of not having Orpheus around again anymore. But then Dream winds up going to see his mommy. goes to
yes.
goes to see Night after seeing Time, and
And her place is so different. It's a forest of, it's like a
at night,
yeah,
yeah, it's all dark and
but it's alive.
yes,
It's not sterile.
yes.
And I loved her hair and her dress. I
Oh
loved
yeah,
how they did that with like the little dots of stars or whatever.
yep. And then she offered to have Dream stay with her, not to go back to his realm and everything. I thought that was an interesting conversation,
Yeah.
but he
And
declines.
he's like, no, I got my own place and I got my own people who I need to be responsible for.
Yeah,
And I feel like Dream of Forever Ago
Mhm.
may have taken her up on it.
I think so too. Because honestly, we've been saying this, and we've been saying this for a while. These endless people, well, they take forever to grow up, and Dream is just learning at this point. These are the hiccups in life that mortals have, but it takes centuries in order for them to learn them.
Yeah, and I mean, the things I found most interesting was when she talked about two of her other children.
Yes, how
That
they come to see her.
Destiny comes often and doesn't stop talking. Whereas when we see him, he is a man of very few words. So he gets it all out with his mom because anything he says to her won't affect anything.
True.
And then Delirium comes and she also points out she's changed because she used to be Delight and now she's Delirium.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dream's like, all she wants is for you to notice her. That's all Delirium wants, is to be noticed and loved by her family.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that doesn't happen for her.
No, she
Which
can't
stinks.
get the attention that she wants.
Yeah.
Mind you, she's the youngest.
Yeah, she's the baby of the family.
Yeah. and then he winds up leaving his mother at that point, and he takes it for what it is. But she says the same thing that his father says.
Well, she points out, she's like, oh, when he says, I went to speak with father, and he says he misses you. She's like, oh, did you think that you could get us back together?
Yeah.
And we would create something new and this would all be
fixed.
And then he was kind of like, oh, I didn't think of that. Would
But I
that
was
work?
like, he wanted that at all, honestly.
No, I think he was seeing it out. And also saying his goodbyes. He's making his rounds. He's saying his goodbyes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
If somebody comes up with a way to fix it, I don't think that he's in agreement with, not an abandonment of his realm, but some way to appease the kindly ones. I think he would take it, but I don't think he's going to.
You could call them the kindly ones all you want. I keep calling them Furies. Don't say that.
They say in the show we call them the kindly ones to not anger them. I don't want to anger them.
I just like that when they say that, because Mervyn says that. You're not supposed to say that. He's like, who cares? What are they going to do? I'm a pumpkin.
Yeah. I love him. I love all of the people who inhabit dreaming.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic.
Yep. We got more Matthew in this, but which I really appreciated. Nuala winds up coming into her own a little bit, which I liked as far as character development. But towards the end, we get a point where she has to leave.
I know. I mean, the way she came into dreaming, just kind of being dumped by her.
It was
her
kind
family
of like a barter system or something for the fairies and that.
Yeah, and like if she it didn't seem like that's what she wanted, but then she really fell in love with the place, fell in love with the people, and
Yeah.
now wants to defend it. Like she's working so hard
Oh yeah.
to try and save him.
And she was
And
such a good shot too with the bow and arrow with Lucienne and Gilbert.
yeah,
They all looked at her and go, wow, she got a bullseye. Wow. And then Gilbert, I love how Mervyn comes out. He goes, well, I got these kind of things here. And he opens it up. It's like semi-automatic rifles and grenade launchers and bazookas.
he calls it the unkindly ones.
Yeah, he calls them the unkindly ones. It's pretty funny. But before all this unfolded, we had Dream going to the kindly ones to talk to them, to see if he could change them, change whatever had happened. But I love how they knew this. One of them, the crone, knew what was going to happen and stated that, it's like, well, took him a while to figure out that I cut that string
Yeah.
already.
And we were right with the last episode that that's what that was, that she was cutting his string.
Hmm.
And his list of enemies was an endless list. Ha ha ha.
Oh, man.
And they bring it up again. Like they say that Desire said they will make him spill family blood.
Yes. So, and that's not just, he's already spilt family blood to get where he's at now.
Right. But what the kindly ones had said was, again, this may have all been part of Desire's plan.
Yes. Exactly.
But also, there are other people who could be mad.
Mm-hmm. Because he's made countless enemies.
Yes.
I love his gifts to them. He brought them wine, herbs, and what was sacred to the Hecate, which was a ferret.
Yeah. It was cute, though.
And they basically pointed out, yeah, these are bribes.
Which, I mean,
but he just came to plead for those he serves, to them, so that way they could not be. He doesn't care about himself. He doesn't want his realm to suffer based upon his actions, is what it is.
I think he cares a little bit about himself, but he also wants to
Yeah.
be punished. But he also wants to be punished.
Well, in this, if you look at these two episodes, if you think about it, he
Yeah.
is punishing himself throughout everything he's going. And then he actually hears that later on in the next episode. We'll bring it up then.
But I mean,
yeah.
he does say to the kindly ones, like, I deserve to die for what I've done, but I do not want to die.
No. Yeah, is the kind of that conceit that he has about himself. He's a little bit conceited. But yeah, we get this an introduction. I'm sorry, listeners, if we went forward and then came backwards again. But this is where it is. But if you had any questions, that's what we were, we like to discuss certain points every once in a while based upon character and development. And I just love the rapport between the three itself of the kindly ones. It's so funny how they talk about it amongst each other, because you think of them as being nasty all the time, even to themselves, because usually the witches three, as I call them, and you've seen them in other forms in stories and animation or movies of fantasy, because they have them. Usually they're super nasty, ugly, and vile to look at or something, or they're always nasty all the time, even to each other. And in this case, it was like, they're just three sisters that live together.
Yeah. I mean, sisters get along and don't get along. And
yeah. But the one thing we didn't really get to was the two tricksters.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Let's talk about.
We can talk about the waking. What's going on in the waking world?
Yep, because they are in the waking world at this point. I love how they used what was it, the Pope?
Yeah, the Pope and one of the head cardinals.
Yeah,
and we start with the Pope welcomes women into the church. That seems weird.
Yep, and Dream seeing right through it. And they show themselves, and these two are a couple. Yeah, they're together. And that's when Dream tries to use leverage on Loki for something that Loki owes to him as like an obligation or a contract for saving him. And we don't know at this point what that is. I don't even realize that it's about Daniel, but spoilers, yeah. It's about them grabbing Daniel at a certain point to save him and bringing him back to the dream realm to take his place. But you gonna trust Puck and Loki
Nope.
regarding this? Oh man. But they use their abilities to disguise themselves and being who they
Cause
are.
havoc,
Yeah.
which is what they do.
Yeah. So I thought it was pretty cool. What
So
else?
we have Daniel's family, which were some
Yes.
characters we saw. Was last season, right? It wasn't this season. Or am I?
Yes, it was last season. We did meet the
Yeah.
mother at one point because he, in the very beginning of this one, he did arrive to her because she had the baby already.
Yep.
And basically that's when she told him, do not come. You're not allowed to see my son ever again. And then,
Right.
of course, this all leads to, Daniel can be the king of dreams, or what would you call him?
He'd become the new Lord of Dreams. He'd become
Lord of Dreams. Okay.
Yeah, he'd become
Yeah,
the new
no.
Morpheus.
Yes.
And he's a good baby.
Yeah.
But what I thought was cool, and it was just a quick moment, was when they go out to dinner. That's Mad Hetty with the dogs, who we've seen before.
Yes.
She's another immortal on Earth.
Yes. Yes. And
a little bit of a harbinger usually.
yes, it was. Well, that's why Daniel's mother kind of got the gist of it and thought about, oh no, we got to go see Daniel. So, and it's like a sixth sense, I guess, around this old biddy with the dogs. But they were wandering through London at that point.
Yes.
Yes. But I found it interesting at the very end, though, with Nula's exit of the dream realm. I thought that was interesting. I really liked it.
And the necklace.
And the necklace, it was, oh man. But Gilbert giving her a book of Chesterton to remind her of the dream realm was pretty funny. But yeah, the necklace was given to her, so like that way if she need be, but that doesn't do her any help if Dream's dead.
I don't know.
How could he come back if he's dead?
I feel like he knows things.
Yeah.
But I like that she offered everybody else to come. She's like, there's a place for you in Fairy. You'll absolutely hate it, but you can come. It's better than being dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's well, he also mentions to Matthew, Gilbert, Lucien, and Mervyn to tell all the other people within the dream realm to go to other areas to be safe. But they prefer to stay with him regardless.
Which I find interesting because, well, I mean, it comes up in the next episode that if he stays in dreaming, he's safe.
Yes.
So could they blow up everything around him and just not hit? I feel like the dreaming should be a safe place. But I guess if he disappears, everything goes.
Unless the dream realm is contained in its own significant bubble. We do see something that he was already in a cell for before in the next episode.
Yeah.
But just think if he did that, like, I hate saying, it's like the Bottle City of Kandor in Superman. And we do see something like that too in the next episode. We'll mention it again. But think about if they put the dream realm into something small that could be hidden from other people to attack. That would be interesting. So that way, because the realm is surrounded by other things, other realms, apparently. So you would think he would try to hide it. And silly me didn't even read the newer issues that came out about 10 years ago. But then again, I have yet to finish up on the other stuff, because I know it goes into a little bit more of that from what I recall, from what I was told. But yeah, there was a lot of changing. Nula didn't really want to go back, but she got comfortable, and it was sad to see her go. But we kind of...
she didn't want to put her glamour back on.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because Kurikan comes to pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but this kind of leads us into the next episode at this point, right?
Yep. We start with her heading home.
Yeah.
And he puts his glamour on her, and she's
upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before we get into 8 a little bit, just to let you guys know, if you're don't stop Netflix at a certain point at the end of the episode. There is a needle drop that goes right into the credits, and I was getting so frustrated. Goes, stop it! No, I want to watch it. Who was it? So there's a needle drop that comes in at the end of the credits. It's called "It's Over Till It's Over and Done" by Blue. So if you want to check that out, it's probably on a Sandman Spotify playlist that's out there already. So keep in mind. So, but if you're interested in looking for it, you could actually find the individual track on YouTube itself, and it says Sandman on it too. So there's that option. There are only two quotes that I have, but you kind of interweaved yours. Destiny saying one's destiny is shown in their actions to Dream regarding
Yep.
what has transpired, why his was unwritten, because in the very beginning, because Dream demands to look at what his destiny unfolds, and after a certain point, the pages are empty. They haven't been written yet because they're based upon his actions. Hence the quote I gave you, one's destiny is shown in their actions. So Dream's story is not finite and completely written, but it's still being written as he's still alive. And then the last one I would
I mean, in that line, last episode, I forget, one of the last two episodes, when Dream goes to talk to him, he's like, look, if you want to heed my advice, take this path. If you don't want to heed my advice, take that path. Like, we keep following up and building on things that were put in place before. Like, just the world building is so deep and intricate. It's so interesting.
Yes. Last quote I have based upon this episode would be from Time himself saying, and this goes into his discussion with Dream about children and everything and loving and all that stuff. And children are an inconvenient consequence of love.
Yes.
They do nothing but take. As crass as it sounds, it is, but Dreams talk about loving his son and loving them for who they were after his actions and following up with that. And then him going into about love for his father, because even Orpheus had stated that he loved Morpheus at one point, but that was his plea. And yes, it was something that he did take. Hey, Dad, kill me. Get rid. Yeah. In the end, it hurt Dream in the end, but it gave him the realization of his love for his son. So, but that's what I got from that. But to continue our stuff, but if you have more,
I had one quote that I have that we didn't really touch on was
okay,
when he was talking to the kindly ones, all roads lead to your sister's realm in time.
Yes,
everybody and everything's gonna die.
Yes, yeah, death is always the end point, and it's not just for him;
it's
for any of them. The
Yep.
endless. It's like they will.
The endless are going to end.
Pretty much. But there's always something to replace them at a certain point. I would hope.
Well, I think it's all, as it all started, it'll go back. It'll just be time and night.
That is true, because they could start over and have more children. If they get back together again,
get back together, they restart everything. Every divorced kid's dream, have their parents get back together.
Yeah, and instead of dream, it'll be nightmare.
Yeah. Every divorced kid's dream and every divorced parent's nightmare.
Correct.
Getting back together with the ex.
You were talking about Nuala and her brother Corrigan glamours her before they even get back to Fairy Realm. And they get the horses from Dream. Dream says that he got her a mare.
One horse. Because Corrigan came in on his horse, and then instead of having to ride back, he gave her own.
Yeah. And then and then the look on her face is like, why would you glamour me? But even still, the queen shows up when they approach. And she goes, well, we have to get you in better clothes than that.
Yeah, because the glamour didn't change the clothes, and she wanted to very much be herself.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what she loved. I don't think she realized how much she wasn't herself when she was in Fairy. But, I mean, Fairy is as gorgeous as you would think it would be. Like, if you said, imagine what a fairyland looks like, that's what it looks like. Green and flowers and just stunning.
Everything bright, whereas where she was in the dream realm, there were moments of like brightness here and there, but it has its own little darkness to it as well, and
Yeah.
fantasy. But within her in the dream realm, her not being glamored, she looks, it's so funny because it looks like if just to use it as a point of reference, any celebrity or even a woman that doesn't go out and does her makeup and to doll herself up, it just looks like it looked to me like somebody
I think she
average.
was still stunning without the makeup.
Same here, but it's like the hair just got poofier and bigger
Curlier.
and curlier and
Because curly hair is supposed to be the ideal.
extensions and stuff like that, and you could tell the makeup on it, and her skin was brighter, it was cleaner, it was bright and brilliant with the and how the glamour works. But honestly, I was like, same person, still looks the same.
Yeah. But she definitely was dolled up a little more.
Yeah. I just loved how the queen though asks her about Dream. Did he talk of me?
Yeah. I was like, oh, somebody's got a little crush.
And I noticed right away the jealousy of her looking at the jewel.
Yeah.
And
And
if I
like the
asked for
coded,
it,
yeah. If I were going to ask for this, well, if you were, I would tell you it's a gift and I can't give it to you.
yes,
I guess it's a good thing I'm not asking.
I can't re-gift it.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I found that interesting. I was thinking maybe this will come up at a later point in a future episode or something, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I gotta say, in my opinion, Nula looks a lot prettier than Queen Tatiana.
oh yeah, yeah,
I think there's definitely some jealousy there.
I think so too. But then again, yeah, yeah. Because why would why would Dream favor taking her? But then again, he
Well,
wouldn't been able to
I don't
take
think it
the
was a
queen.
looks reason. Yeah, I think he just liked her for
Yeah,
her being herself. He enjoyed having her around.
he
Like
did. Yeah,
he's a decent guy. Now, as long as you don't fall in love with him
yes, yes. Then
or be his child
yeah,
or wrong him.
then yeah,
But
you're sent to Hades and or you get killed in the end. Makes all these mistakes. Oh man. But yeah, then it moves into we see Dream later, and he's there to go see Despair.
he's in her realm. We haven't seen her realm really before.
No, and he was just like sitting. It looked like he was sitting in the dream realm, but suddenly appears in a room with her
So
there.
I believe he was in his, they have their, I'm blanking on the name.
Symbols.
Yeah, but they have their rooms where all the symbols are. So I think he was in his room
Yes.
calling to her room.
Yes.
So he was kind of there, but not there.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Yeah, it's kind of like when you used to take a string and two cups and talk that way as a kid.
I think it's a little clearer than that, but
I know that. But yeah, he winds up in there and talking to her, and
and
you
her
could, yeah, her world is it's kind of dark.
and it's flooded.
Yeah,
Everything's flooded out.
yeah.
So like you can kind of see happiness. Like I thought that was a very, very cool and interesting choice.
Like the tears of people sobbing.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it comes up later where looking at my notes. Um people need a place to spend time where they can be miserable.
Yes, I have that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but before they then swim up for air and start breathing again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have
Like
that
you
quote
got to
too.
wallow
Yeah.
in it a little bit, you got to feel it, and then then get over it.
Exactly.
I like that even though in despair she knows she doesn't want people to stay in her realm. She wants to be there for when they need to be sad, but
Yeah,
she doesn't want people to live there.
We even Orpheus did too at one point. And he used to spend time with her, and she even says, well, he sang to me, Billie Holiday and Nick Drake. And then throughout that, you could see on Despair was despairing about Orpheus too, or being
Yeah.
upset about it. And she basically talked to Dream and explained, it's like, yeah, your son came to me and then he had questions about you. And I told him what I knew of you.
And now my question with this was, is this all because of Desire? Like, did Desire put all that in place?
Yes, because Desire at one point had an influence on Despair as well.
I mean, and seemed to still the last time we saw them together.
Yes,
Like, the siblings seem to pair up,
they do, except for the
except
young one.
Destiny. Except for no, she was with Destruction when he
Yes, but
left.
now he's gone, but now she's alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and except for Destiny. Destiny doesn't need anyone.
No, he's a loner. But he goes to
Well,
mom and
apparently he needs his
complains.
mommy. Apparently he needs his mommy.
He just goes home to mom. Oh man, my siblings are pains in the butt. The goth looking one is getting all this trouble. My sister's a bit flighty.
Just a bit.
But in the end, that Despair understood why Dream showed up, and
And then while he's there,
yeah,
he mentions the name Daniel Hall, and she's like, "Wait a second,
and she
there's
knows
some
something.
serious despair going on about that name."
Yep, and then that's when she looks into that world.
That was such an amazing transition.
Yeah, it was almost like seeing in a mirror or something, or in a window.
Yeah.
Looking through the looking glass, and then it being an actual window of what's going on in the waking world. Yep. And I love how they pose as detectives because, they used fairy dust to knock out the people.
Yeah.
And then they took Daniel away, but then they leave the sand there. He put the sand down
puts it there, yeah.
and then pointing it out so she could see the mother. And then she's like, him.
Yeah, that was
The manipulation that we do see from the two of them, because
it's awful.
Yeah. And then and then Lucian and Dream trying to figure out who took Daniel, but he knew, basically.
Yeah.
And he states that, the only reason why they can't find him because he's probably drugged, meaning that they're using the fairy dust on Daniel as well.
Which, yeah, and they have
him from dreaming.
And they have a book of Daniel. Like, well, I guess they have a log of everyone who comes to dreaming.
Yes.
So, but they know when he comes and they can check the book and be like, oh, the last time you were sleeping was.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cute little thing. Like, oh, I wonder if they have one for everyone. I'm like, of course they have one for Daniel, but I'm guessing they have one for everyone.
I'm sure they do.
But Daniel probably knows of his powers a little bit.
Even though he's a baby, I'm sure he's aware of it. And I'm sure we'll get a little bit more out of that later on. Even though it's like, yes, I think this is the last of it. I don't think we're going to get another drop of
this is
Sandman. This is it. So, but if they end it where they show you something in the future with Daniel in it, it'd be nice. This is me thinking out loud because this is the.
I mean, we're not done.
We're not done. We got a bunch more. I just love how stalker looking Dream goes to Johanna Constantine for help
in her dream.
In her
sexy dream.
Sexy murder dream. It's a murder dream for her. And she kind of like, when they had their little conversation, they talk about love and everything. And she goes, well, that's not love. That's just sex. She goes, you robbed me of my killing the guy.
Yeah, she's like, you owe me another dream. Or the rest of that dream.
Yeah. But I just love how Dream offers her something to get her to help. And it's her ancestor's journal.
Yeah, I like how we don't have to qualify how many greats between
Yeah,
just call
he
it
just says
ancestor and be done with
ancestor
it.
of the same name. And, and she goes, "Oh, did she shag? Did you shag her? Or did she shag you?"
There's no shagging in this book. I'm going to be very disappointed.
Exactly. And she had to read it. No, we'll not go until we read. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning right now. I'm going to read this now.
And that was after making the choice between having coffee and getting up or having wine and reading the book.
Exactly.
She turned off the pot. I'm assuming she was making coffee. It's Britain. She could have been making tea.
It's a possibility.
It looks like a coffee pot to me, like one of those stovetop coffee things.
Yeah. But, I've known many English to have coffee. And it's not just, it is an American thing, but and tea is typically, and honestly,
I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. So
I drink tea as well, but it's funny too because it makes me wiry. It gets all buggy. It's like, what are you doing? I had my Earl Grey. Don't leave me alone. um, but I love how they go through this whole thing and they have to go, and he uses her as like a detective just to add a little bit more. They're able to go there.
well, that's what Lucienne said was like, hey, you're safe here.
Hmm.
Why don't you find somebody there to take care of what you need done over there
But
and
he
just stay
insists,
safe here?
yeah, and then he insisted to go with her regardless of the mother being against it's him seeing
Yeah.
her because, well, he's not here, and that's the reason why I'm here. I would have already had him. Why would I be? It's like in a certain like to simplify the dialogue that they had,
Yeah.
the slight little argument that they had, which isn't really big, but it's like you told me not to be here because you knew I would be taking him. Why would I be here if I've already taken him? Literally. It's like, do I have to explain it to you? And then I love how Johanna states that what did she say she was for the royal family?
She was the head exorcist.
Or one of the head exorcists?
No, she was the head exorcist, and yes, they have more than one.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Because I thought yes, they have more than one. Okay. Because the look on Dream's face is like, huh? With her ID. It's like, this is a warrant. I have it. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then that's how they were able to go into it. And then he realizes he can't be there on Earth. He's going to let her do her tasks to try to find the
Right. But
Daniel.
that's only after she calls him out.
Oh, yes.
Like something that
The conversation that they have is interesting.
yeah, like she calls him out. She's like, you
You're in a
shouldn't be here.
suicide mission and you're just punishing yourself over and over for this.
And even like, why are you causing this man to still be asleep? Well,
Yeah.
he was
Alex
listening to his
Burgess.
father. He was listening to his father. She's like, yeah, kind of like you did, or kind of like your son did. And like, she's just calling him out. And had this happened in our earlier version of Dream,
Mhm.
she would have been banished somewhere. But he actually,
Takes it.
yeah, and he's taken it back for a second, but he
Mhm.
takes it, he internalizes it, he listens to it, he pays attention.
Yeah, it's before he would have reacted and angrily as being an endless and then doing whatever he feels. And it's showing that he's growing. I hate saying it. We keep talking about that, the growing of the endless and how they have to
But I
mature.
mean, yeah.
But yeah, he's making himself suffer through all this is what he's doing. So she winds up telling him to leave and so she could continue the investigation and everything. But that also brings us back to, because we do get to see Alex Burgess. And in this case, he is still in the endless sleep or the eternal sleep,
Being punished.
being punished. And that was because Morpheus was trapped at one point, and then this is what he had done to them. And Paul is his caretaker, as we recall, if you remember from season 1, everybody, they were lovers. And he was taking care of him. Paul's still alive. He's older, but he's taking care of him. And he goes, please release him, endless suffering. And
It's like, well, I didn't intend for you to suffer. He's like, but you have.
yeah. Oh man. So yeah, we get to see that and that information come back. So everything came back full circle. We do see this a little later on too, where it does come full circle. But uh oh wow. Yeah, before this even happened, I think the Furies actually do show up to speak to Daniel's mother, who is their
Lita, yeah.
granddaughter.
Yeah, they call her granddaughter.
Just I'm not sure entirely. You would know better.
In the comic book, she's actually the daughter of Wonder Woman.
Yes, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was a DC property and then eventually went into independent comic.
Well,
I think.
it was always stayed DC. It just went from DC proper to blanking out. DC had like a
Vertigo or something like
Vertigo.
that.
Yep, it went to Vertigo. Vertigo was their
Okay.
indie comic. Thank you
Yeah.
for remembering that name. I'm like, oh, I'm blanking on it.
I remembered Vertigo because Marvel had Dark Horse, and
Yeah.
I have to remember the difference between both.
Yeah. So Sandman ended up being Vertigo,
Mm.
which was their more indie parallel universe, whatever. But yeah, Lita was in the story, she's Wonder Woman's daughter.
Yeah. But I guess for this, because it's a DC property, you can't really do that. This is Netflix. So they try to make the continuity within itself, probably for the show.
Yeah. Or, I mean, they're calling her granddaughter. I don't know if they're trying to give her a power, because at this point, does she need one? I don't know.
I don't know.
Or do they just call all human women granddaughter?
Who knows?
I really don't know. Like, I don't know the point of that. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
Mm.
Um,
We'll see. This is going off the rails from the comic, I'm assuming.
yeah, I mean, things are changed and things are sped up. The basic idea is there.
Okay. But I love how they're there and they say they're not there to go. She asks if they were going to hurt her, and they're like, no, we're here. We're going to try to help you. But then she asked more, she's at her 3 questions.
Yeah.
But they tell her that who took her child, she knows
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, in the comic, they show up after Lita thinks her son's dead. So she blames Dream. She wants revenge on him.
Yes.
So she contacts them.
Okay.
So she because remember how they said, we're not going to do anything until someone contacts us. Like, yes, you spilled family blood, but nobody's filed a police report with us. And until somebody files a police report, we're not going to do anything. But you got a whole lot of people who could file this report.
Oh my goodness.
So, and maybe we see it next episode, so I may be spoiling a little bit, but in the comic, basically, for lack of a better term, she files the police report.
Okay.
And sets in motion.
Well, that's where we
building
end
up
at the ending of this episode.
Yeah, so stuff's a little turned around a bit, but
okay. Yeah, they're forming their own new continuity with the way it's depicted in the show. But they also state, and you already said, they will put Daniel in the fire, whoever has him.
Mm-hmm.
They actually blatantly tell her that. But then we go and we see Puck getting too attached to Daniel.
Oh my God, he was so swooning, so cute.
He was swooning over her. He goes, "I just love his eyes. He loves me." And it's like, you think he loves me? Like, oh God.
What I didn't realize, until last episode, is the actor who's playing Puck.
You didn't remember where you saw him before?
We had seen him in the who's getting the keys to hell, and it didn't click then who he was. But then episode 7, I was like, oh snap! I know who that is. I was like, he is perfect for this role.
Yes,
and it's cool to see Joffrey all grown up and still being evil.
Yep. He does look a little bit different,
Mhm.
but yeah, I didn't know you didn't realize that.
No, I did. It was like when he made like that real evil smile at one point. I was like, oh, I know him.
Yes, everybody. King Joffrey from Game of Thrones. That's who she's referencing.
Or
For
Jack Gleason.
Yeah, Jack Gleason. For the panelers out there who are not Game of Thrones fans, like Jamie and I watched all Game of Thrones. That's like a Zed had a podcast kind of thing because Jason had started with covering Game of Thrones at one point in one of the podcasts.
And we had the finale party at my house.
Yeah, you did. I wasn't there, but I heard. And I saw on video too, which is so funny. Uh, but yeah, King Joffrey. But he was like so swooning over the child, and then Loki
It
just
was
talking about
so
it. It was
cute.
so cute, and it showed. And it's so funny too because of all people that you're looking at this, and it's like you just remember him as that other character, and you're like, well, Puck isn't as bad. And the way he even says it to Loki because of what they're doing, he didn't want to hurt the child. He didn't want to do anything of
Well,
that nature.
yeah. He's like, well, I thought he's like he's an innocent. He's like, I show. What did he say before? I know I didn't write this down, so I'm not gonna bother looking at my notes.
But you're
Like
right in
basic.
saying that. The child isn't innocent. He only takes it out on people who is deserving it, who I guess unjust or something.
Yeah, he basically like showed people. Was it the folly of their way? Like
Yeah,
some, not quite the folly, but like he liked to mess with people who were doing something
dastardly.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, and not even necessarily too dastardly. He just liked to,
mess with them.
yeah.
Hmm. And not kill them. And in this
Well,
case,
I don't know if he's necessarily above that, depending on what's going on. We
well,
don't know too much.
me neither. We don't know that yet until the end. But oh, this is something I always wanted to know, and I might look it up as we're talking. Loki and his children. What did he
Yeah,
describe them as?
S- there was a wolf, a pig, and didn't one of them eat the other ones?
One of them was a wolf,
Yeah, he had
and
6 children. I know one eats another one at some point.
yes, well, there's Fenry the wolf. We all know one's a snake, I think. You
Yeah, he
said
may have mentioned yeah, I didn't write it down. Loki has 6 kids. He said, children are terrible. And Odin used one to bind him, use the intestines of one of his children to bind him.
yes. You're right.
But I didn't write down what all of his children were.
Me neither. I knew that two are wolf. One was made into a wolf by Odin, and as in his conversation to Puck. And then one was definitely a snake. Those are the only ones that I got out of it because of what I was
Yeah, I don't know
writing
that he
down.
named all 6, but I believe he said like the sixth, eighth, the fourth, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Because in Norse mythology, if you look it up online, if you do a quick Google search, everybody, there's 5 children: Hel, Narfi, Valley, Jormungandr, and Fenry. Fenry the Wolf, if you all know what that is. And if for you panelers, yes, we got Fenry the Wolf. Guess what? When we got to see Thor, not Love and Thunder, it was the one before that where they go to battle the games and he meets the Hulk when he's in Hulk land. Well, technically where you're supposed to be. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that Hulk version constantly. But
And we're still in the story of parents hate their children,
yes,
which, for the record, I disagree with. I enjoy my children most of the time.
yeah, because Loki is hating on his father, and that's the reason why he does what he does.
And
Yeah,
then children are awful, and Puck I
yeah,
guess he kind of saw a little bit of a future with them. He's like, wait, you don't want kids?
yeah,
Ever?
yeah.
He's like, I've had 6. I'm done.
Yeah,
It didn't work out well.
yeah. That to me was interesting. The conversation goes on because we actually see a little bit more of this, but it's split up in different scenes because it switches back. to and from, but I love how uh it comes to that moment where Puck tries to return Daniel to the house, eluding Loki after he just jumps into the shower. And when Loki comes out, he finds him missing.
Yep.
And then when Puck gets back to the castle and he sees it's Dream there. But
It's
it's
not.
not, but Loki trying to fool Puck into saying, as Dream, well, I'll release Loki of his obligation to him. And he goes, and he states it as Dream, releasing him from his agreement. But he reveals himself to Puck saying, oh, you fell for that? And it's like, oh, and then he forces him to take him back.
Yeah.
And
But he's like, I liked the nice things you said about me.
yeah, exactly, right. But he forces him to take the baby back to where they were. And Loki winds up giving us a lovely story of how he once convinced Thor that he was pregnant. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
I forgot what he put into Thor's butt, put a cork into it.
He put a cork into it and he had him drink castor oil.
Castor oil, that was what it was. He had castor oil and put a cork in his butt. And then the squirrel comes landing on Thor, and Thor thinks he's literally giving birth. And then apparently, with all his bowel movements going over the squirrel, he goes, "You're furry and ugly."
Covered in poo.
Covered in
And I
poo.
love you.
Yep. And it was funny. But we get the elusive after the story. Loki straddling Puck and putting the fairy dust on him to put him to night night. And he goes,
Yeah.
you don't want to be awake for what I'm about to do. And he puts him out. And then next thing you know, we see Loki taking Daniel and going towards the fire.
Ugh.
Now, the question I have is, did that really happen? Did he really burn the kid?
I mean, he showed the mom a picture of her kid burned.
Yeah, he did, but we didn't see the picture. We don't know for.
I don't want to see the picture.
I wouldn't want to see. Well, that was the good part of the cut, the way they did it. You didn't see Loki literally put the baby on the fire. We didn't see that motion in hand, but you just know it was alluding to it. And then on top of that, we didn't see the picture too, but you could see how horrific. I think her name is Leica, if I recall properly.
Lida?
Lida. You were
Lida.
correct. You were correct. I remember. I don't know why I called her a camera. Leica. Okay. Anyhow, so you can see how horrified she was, and that was what was like. But me as a viewer and not up to par with the reading on everything, I'm like, if that kid's really dead, somebody kill Loki. Get rid of Loki. I know he is evil, but he's like,
And all because he owes Dream a favor.
yeah.
Like,
but he wasn't meant to kill Daniel. He was
it's not like Dream is
supposed to,
keeping him captive. It's not.
but he wasn't meant to take and kill Daniel. He was meant to take Daniel so Dream could have him and bring him back to his realm.
Yeah.
So where did this come from? And I know that Loki's a piece of crap. We all know this through Norse mythology. We've seen it in the Marvel movies, everybody. But, at least Tom Hiddleston is pretty. Well, is he prettier? I don't know.
That's a personal decision.
That is a personal decision. But we did see a lot of Loki's backside on this. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, yeah, I caught it.
And I'm sure a lot of women out there or guys were like, oh, let me pause. I want to see his junk.
I don't did they show the junk? I didn't look. I
don't know,
that.
but I'm waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, I did.
I mean, I'm okay with what I saw. I wasn't mad about what I saw.
I was just jealous. I'm like, damn, I wish I had a body.
Yeah. But I mean, a body like that takes a lot of work. I just don't have that in me these days.
I know, right? It looked like he could bounce a quarter off his butt. Anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just who Loki is. He's just a
He's evil. I mean, Puck is mischievous.
yes, but
Loki
he's not.
seems to be choosing more evil.
He is a lot more evil, and this is exactly how. And even though he is the god of mischief, I think with this iteration and him being in the woke world and him being exposed to it and the reality of the woke world making him a little bit more maniacal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's been bound, to be bound in your child's intestines by your father, which would be your father's grandchild's intestines. Like that's a pretty serious, like you must have
Yeah,
done something bad.
exactly.
Like I feel like he's just a bad dude.
Just throw him back to the Frost Giants. Let's just do that. Oh man. But
Uh,
yeah, we end off with that, which was kind of horrific, in my opinion. And oh, and before all that happened, we get a
Hob.
little sage advice from Hob where Dream meets him up, and it's basically his goodbye to Hob.
Yeah, that was. And Dream admits to him about look, this was a bet between me and my sister.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did. And to see if who would a human would take eternity as an act, and you lost. And then he is also understanding what he did to Hob and showing his condolences to him because every person that Hob has known, his wife, his kids, his grandkids, any
Wives,
wives.
kids.
Oh, sorry, I should have pluralized that. And
Yeah, it's
they
been
all
600
die.
years. Yeah, 600 years
They all
at this
die in the
point.
end. So he's seen it all, and he was visiting a grave yet again, and that's where Dream meets him at the graveyard. And then they go to sit, and then Hobbs gives him.
Do you think they went to the White Horse again?
It looked like it a
It
little
looks
bit.
like it. Yeah.
And then obviously it's like there we have it. It's like Hobbs is there to give him some sort of therapy and realization into himself and dream and telling Dream basically he's developing to be a person, and Dream saying he's sorry and how could he make it up, and then Hobbs giving him saying advice to fixing the mistakes he has already made while Dream is sitting there crying in his wine. Literally, if you think about it, that's what
Yeah.
how the scene was. It looked like him like explaining it, and that's how their conversation unfolds, and in the end result is Hobbs telling him saying, hey, fix the mistakes that you made.
Yeah.
And like I said before, Dream is still learning, so this is where he goes, and that's when with the that little conversation that Johanna had said about Alex Burgess and saying, hey, release him from his eternal sleep. This is what we wind up, and you do see Dream going back to the realm, and he opens up his footlocker full of trophies, I guess you could call them,
Yeah.
and you see the spherical kind of cell that he was in from when we saw him in the very beginning of season one, because he was encased in his sphere like prison, and in lies, and he buries it, and it uncovers, and it grows big, and then we see Alex Burgess, young Alex Burgess. So it's his
Yes.
consciousness in his dream of who he is, and even Alex is saying that he was sorry for what he had done, and then Dream saying the same thing, and then releasing him, and then out of the blue, Alex wakes up in the waking world and calls out to Paul, and it's a way for him to fix some
It
of the
was
mistakes that he had made. Yeah, it is sweet.
it was sweet that his first thought was of Paul.
Yeah, yeah, he was thinking of Paul, and well, Alex is alive and awake and with Paul, and they could spend the rest of the years together now. but they're still in that same house that that Miss Hall is,
Yeah.
and
They
her
haven't
friend
decided what.
Robin. Yeah, they haven't decided on what was going on, but we also are left off there. Uh, I would like to know what the other objects were in
Well, we
dreams.
see the demon whose name is escaping me.
Hmm.
We see him.
We see
But
the
yeah,
bottled city of where his wife was, wasn't it?
yeah. Yeah.
That's why I mentioned everybody. The bottled city of Kandor, if you remember from Superman, that's what this looked like. It was in a jar, and it looked like the actual city in this jar. So that's what it reminded me of. So if you guys watch it again, now you get what I was trying to explain earlier. But yeah, and you see all his trophies pretty much. And now, were these conquests or were these his guilt? That's my question. Is he going to slowly shuck and relieve these things out of his little
Well,
footlocker?
he was looking for a very specific one, it seemed like.
Yep, he got that one, which was Alex at that point. And then he goes to Lucien. And this is where we leave off at this point, asking her to get what he left for her to pretty much hold for him, keep it hidden. And she pulls out a skull. And on that skull, it has teeth
For eyes.
for eyes. And if you all recall, one of the weirdest and one of the interesting,
It was the first nightmare he made.
yep, which is the Corinthian, which was an episode that we kind of focused in around at one point. I think Jayme and I did enjoy it, even though as brutal as it was the serial killer convention
Yeah.
where he was showing up and then he had to destroy it. And he was already forewarned by Lucien and was it Gilbert there? I forget. I don't know. I think Lucien was just warning him at that point at the end of this. And she says, hey, remember what happened with the last one? And that's why you had to destroy it. He goes, no, I'm going to be able to control this one.
Yeah, he's like, I made that one a long time ago. Like, even before I had a kid, like, before I knew how to
Yeah.
be in charge of things.
So he lets loose the Corinthian, who I think he's probably trying to go after Puck and Loki. Because he knows who it is that has Daniel. Or at this point, he doesn't
Yeah.
know that what happened to Daniel, but he's going to set it forth against them. From my understanding. I don't know. Who else is he going to go after?
And I mean, maybe he fights against the kindly ones. We don't know for sure yet.
Yeah, how could the Corinthian go against the Furies? It'd be interesting.
And yeah, all we know right now is that the Corinthian is back. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm curious of what he does.
I'm so curious. Like, it was very hard not to start watching the next episode. I mean, I kind of know, which makes it a little easier, but still, I want to see how they do it.
Yeah. He's a master of manipulation, dimensional travel. He could alter reality, ability within nightmares, and obviously he can consume eyeballs of his victims. That's why he's got the teeth in his eyes. Just to give you an idea, if you do a quick search, I have these on reference on hand, but I just remember it from the first season. But anyhow, I think that's it from all my notes. I only had yeah, you already got my quote in there too from Despair, which is great.
I had a quote somewhere. I thought I put a star next to it, and I did not. I remembered putting a star next to something. Maybe it was last episode, and I'm just killing time. All right. I guess it's not that important.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I got it. No one found it. It was when Dream was talking with Hob. He's like, no one leads a perfect life. Enjoy what you have and don't ruin it for others. And I think the don't ruin it for others is something people need to focus more on.
Hey, you talking about this podcast and spoiling? Oh, I'm not just kidding.
No.
Too late.
Too late. We spoiled it all.
Too late, lady. Too late. Awesome. But yeah, that kind of concludes our coverage on these two episodes of Sandman.
Episodes 7 and 8.
Yep. To keep you guys apprised, I did set up feedback for the next two episodes, so you can send in feedback. So I don't want to hear you didn't send anything. I put it on both Podcastica as well as Pounds to Pixels podcast, and put both as references, everybody. So for you guys to send in feedback, we will get into that right now. So Jayme, do you want to let the panelers know how to get in touch with Podcastica, and then I'll inform the Podcastica guys, or listeners, how to contact panels?
If you would like to send us some feedback or just say hi, you can send us an email or a voice message at talk@podcastica.com. If you head to podcastica.com, there's a handy voice message link. And you can check us out on social media at facebook.com/podcastica, Twitter @podcastica, and Instagram @housepodcastica.
I like how Jason puts this stuff in there and makes it so easy. May have to be long and drawn. Anyhow, for Panels to Pixels podcast, it's easy. We could be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice is. We do get some feedback through Spotify as well. With Spotify and Apple Podcasts, there is a rating or review. Please fill that out if you can. If the more the merrier. It's greatly appreciated. But we do get it notified on comments from Spotify. You could go to our Facebook group, which would be facebook.com panels to pixels /panels to pixels. I did put out for the next one, so there'll be an image telling you how to get the feedback, or you just leave it in the comment below. What's on Facebook is already on Instagram because it's all meta. But if you want to follow us on Instagram, because people like to do that, all you have to do is follow us at Panels to Pixels podcast. Or if you're a traditionalist like I am, you could email us at panels2pixels1@gmail.com. Panels 2 is spelled out TO, pixels and the number 1@gmail.com. You can write out your thoughts. We'll read them. And if, just like with Jason, you have a handy recording thing widget, I don't have one of those, but you could easily record yourself and send it as an attachment, and we could play it live. We also get our comments through YouTube as well, because YouTube podcasts and then YouTube itself, people send them in that way. Ring the bell, subscribe, do that good stuff. Eventually we'll have some more video. I'm hoping to do that. I'm trying to work on the guys from Fantasy Picks movie edition. Rob and the guys coming on for certain things. We're trying to reinvent a little bit and do some more video based stuff, so you could see who we are, have fun, and do a little bit more media based. But you could leave comments there. We'll get them through YouTube. And that's about it. Like I said, if you could just please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell, that would be appreciated.
Really appreciated.
Yep. Next week we are covering season 2, episodes 9, The Kindly Ones, and number 10, Long Live the King.
And then I think there's only 2 more after that, so we've got 2 episodes left of this show.
Wow.
And then it's done.
It's done. Then we could go back to Invincible eventually.
Which we're almost done with, but that one has more seasons coming at least.
Yes, exactly. And this is where you guys could hear where you could find us elsewhere. Jayme?
I'm just here.
Okay. She's here.
And
here on
Invincible.
Sandman Cast for Podcastica, Panels to Pixels podcast, Adrenaline Cinema podcast on occasion when we do stuff. Yeah. And then, like me, Panels to Pixels podcast as always. Adrenaline Cinema podcast you can follow through as just the same. You can find those on Facebook, as well as the Pyrocore Entertainment podcast. You could hear me there. We're putting up a little bit more. I've got stuff in the works for the music stuff. I'm continuing my coverage with of Dexter with Becky on her podcast, which I put on the Pirate Core Entertainment podcast, and Dexter Resurrection, and it's going so well. I highly recommend it. For those of you that are listening, panelers, if you are into Alien Earth has dropped on Sci-Fi, and Jason has a podcast about it, and they put out a couple podcasts, I think, already.
They covered the first 2 episodes. I have not finished watching, so I haven't listened. I listened to the beginning of the episodes until it got a little spoilery.
Oh, you didn't even watch the first 2?
It was my birthday weekend for my daughter.
Okay. All right.
So we were a little busy.
The third one's out. I haven't even watched it yet. So
yeah, it was birthday and Joan Jett and Billy Idol weekend.
It's so good, and I highly recommend it. Check out Randy and Jason, and I think Kelsey was on it. I'm not sure exactly who he had other than Randy, but I wasn't listening to the podcast. I just saw because you get clips, and they're video clips, and I'm shocked at that too, because Jason doing video.
I know.
It's amazing. I recommended that a long time ago.
I was watching I listened to Kylie Kelsey's podcast, and she had somebody on, and it's called Not Gonna Lie, and she had somebody on who was like, not gonna lie, I think podcasts should stay video free. She's like, I want to do a podcast with messy hair, no makeup.
I was making a joke once to a friend of mine, and they're a semi-celebrity, and I said, well, you do. They're like, why don't you do more video? Why don't you do more of that? I said, you know what? I got a face for podcasting.
Me too.
Nobody wants to see my ugly mug unless I'm doing an interview with somebody, and then I have to put on a ton of makeup or maybe put on a mask. Anyhow,
a mask. I like the idea of a mask.
Well, I have a few ideas too, because I wanted to do that. Actually, it was pretty funny. The last Dexter episode, we talked about masks. Not to digress a bit.
I'm 1 episode behind on that too.
Well, we talked about masks, and throughout it, Penny and was on with me and Becky, and I mentioned it. I kind of jokingly on the Zoom call bring up my Loki mask that I have from the movie The Mask. If you remember what Jim Carrey puts on his face and makes the joke. That fake mask, the one that possesses him, I have a replica of it. And she goes, oh my God, you have a Loki mask. But I have several masks actually, and helmets and everything. I think somebody said their favorite weird mask or hood was my Cobra Commander hood. So anyhow, yeah, eventually I'll probably do that just for fun, because I like to have fun with that kind of stuff. But anyhow, not to go a little bit longer than we should.
Oh, as always.
We highly recommend, watch Alien Earth. Follow the rest of the stuff that's on Podcastica. Just go to podcastica.com. And with that, Jayme, how do we end?
Pleasant dreams or unpleasant nightmares, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye. And for you panelers, same podcast, different panel, different pixel. This was Panels to Pixels podcast, and we'll see you on the next panel. Bye-bye.
Night-night.
Good dreams.
Good dreams.
Whatever works for you, everybody.
We don't have to be mean about everything.
That is true.
We don't have to be Loki.
Pleasant nightmares. Bye.